Hello everyone, so today I'm going to be talking about 5 ways to mentally prepare for relocation. I'm going to be sharing 5 tips. These tips have really helped me because I've recently moved back to England, and honestly, if I did not know how to deal with some of the things that I was faced with at the time, it would have been really difficult. I probably would have chickened out. I've been thinking about relocating for almost 2 years. Moving back because I used to live in England and I went to Nigeria. It got to the time that I had to come back, but it took me at least 2 years to actually get to the point where I said, okay, yes, it's time to go back. Honestly, relocating and leaving family and living where you currently live, if you have children, your children's school, your friends, and even the littlest of things, food, can really bring about a lot of overwhelming feelings. At a point, I would cry some days like, oh, am I really going to go back? When you think about the weather of the place that you're going to, all of these things bring a lot of thoughts into your mind that you might eventually just chicken out and say, you know what, I'm not going anywhere. But you see, there is nothing like, the adventure, the excitement about going to a new place, the possibilities, the things that can happen for you there, especially if, for example, you are leaving because maybe your husband got transferred from work, or you're just in search of, greener pastures or better, place for your children. I feel like, it's important for you to equip yourself so that you're able to prepare your mind for the best and not the worst, because honestly, it's majorly the fear of the unknown. A lot of us are afraid because we don't know what we're going to experience where we're going, but sometimes you just need to jump. You just need to take the leap. So today, I'm going to share 5 tips that would help you prepare mentally for relocation, especially if you're going abroad. These tips are actually valuable even if you're just moving from state to state. But you see, if you're going abroad, it's a lot bigger because you can't just up one day and leave and say you're going back to where you're coming from. So it's important that you do the right things, you pack properly, because you're not going to run back and say, oh, I forgot something in Lagos, oh, I forgot something in where I was coming from. You're not going to be able to run back. So it's important that you actually prepare yourself mentally, emotionally, and every other way so that your move is is seamless, is easy, it takes less toll on you emotionally and all. If relocation is something that has been on your mind, that you've been putting it at the back of the burner and you're worried about so many things, this video is the one that you want to watch. So stick around. If you haven't subscribed, this is a good time for you to subscribe, because every other week I'm going to be dropping a video talking about life abroad, adjusting to things that I've experienced, adjusting with children. If you have little ones, this is the time to subscribe. So please hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to also turn on notifications so that whenever it is that I drop a new video, you will be the first to know. So let's jump right in. My number 1 tip is to start to plan early. So like I said before, it took me 2 years to finally decide that I was going to go back to England. And one of the reasons why you have to start early is this: because there's a lot of things that you have to deal with. There's a lot of things that you have to do. There's a lot of planning that goes into, relocation, the moving, whether you have to carry the things by yourself or you're going to send it through a shipper, starting to look for school for your children. Just a lot of things go into this relocation. And the earlier you start planning it, the better. A lot of times I would cry and I would just put it away and be like, oh my God, I don't want to even think about this. But the earlier you sit down and start to plan what exactly it is that you're going to be doing, what exactly it is that is going to be happening when you go out there, the better for you. Like I said before, there are so many things that you need to pack, the little things, so that you don't forget anything. Especially for me, when I was living, I have a business back in Nigeria. I had to make sure that I put a lot of things in place. I put a lot of structure in place to ensure that the business can run even in my absence. And I'm so happy that, everything has worked out the way that I planned it, although I've gone to Nigeria once since I've been back. But what I'm saying is, if you start to plan early, you know the things that you need to put in place, so that even if you have anything that you're going to leave back in Nigeria, you already put a systematic arrangement in place for the thing to continue to work, or for the thing to continue to run properly. If you don't start to plan early, what happens is a lot of things will get mumbled up, and eventually you will leave in a hurry, realizing that you have left so many things undone. Except if it's a life or death situation and you have to just leave immediately without planning anything. I recommend that at least you give yourself 6 months before you leave. You sit down, write out everything that needs to get done, everything that is living with you, everything that is not living with you, who needs to take what, who needs to come and take over what, who do you need to train to do something in your absence, who do you need to hire in your absence. But if you don't plan on time, all of these things you have to do in a very little time, and eventually when you leave, everything will scatter, because what it means is that you haven't structured anything. I was able to actually plan myself such that right now, if I am informed about anything happening in my business in Lagos, I can actually tell where the problem is coming from. I can actually tell what step was missed or anything like that. Because if there is no reason for you to rush, I recommend that you give yourself at least 6 months and really put this into a proper plan process. If you need help, ask people who are qualified or somebody who is around you to help you you think, because sometimes the whole thinking process is a whole lot that you forget some things even when you are planning. Like I had to, get rid of things in my house that I had in Nigeria, so it took a while. So that's why I said it's important for you to start to plan early, so that you ensure that everything is done properly, done in good time, and when you're out there, you're not feeling like, oh, I forgot this, oh, I forgot that, because that alone can start to bring back a lot of nasty feelings, you feeling like you didn't do right or you didn't do well. So what I'm saying in essence is they start to plan your relocation early. Give yourself at least 6 months to plan. I know that 6 months is not even enough. If you're somebody who has always lived back in Nigeria or lived in a particular place for so long, 6 months is short, but at least it will give you some room to actually plan some certain kind of things, so that even in your absence, whatever it is you're leaving behind, you don't feel like you've left so much. Or even if you're leaving a business or you're leaving something that is really important behind, you know that at least it is well taken care of. Tip number 2, be optimistic and focus on the positives. Honestly, see, it's so easy to actually, think about all the things that can go wrong, and you just eventually just zoning into that negativity, and the only thing that you can see about your movement is everything going wrong. Oh, I'm going to leave my business. Oh, where am I going to start from? I'm going to leave this my job that is paying me so much money. Oh, I'm going to leave my friends. I'm going to leave my family. Nobody's going to help. Oh, there is no help. Oh, this, oh, that. Honestly, you have to make a conscious effort to actually focus on the positive. Do you understand? Change is exciting. You can get a new job, you can make new friends, and then if you're leaving because of your family, look at the positive, look at the good that is going to do for your children, that is going to do for your relationship with your husband. For me, my husband was in England at the time, I was in Nigeria, and of course, we were apart, so there would always be, this issue or that issue. So I was looking at the fact that, okay, so I live being with him and the children would definitely foster unity, a better relationship, a better marriage. Look at the good side of you moving. If you are moving because of a better job, you're going to be afforded, a better life, more money, that can be something that you want to focus on. The fact that you just want to, change your environment, change the people that you relate with, do things differently, can be something you want to focus on instead of all the things that may go wrong. As at the time we were living, I was worried because winter is not a good weather for Adam's skin, and that was something that really, really used to get to me. But you know what? I started looking at it from the side that, okay, at least Adam will be with his dad, the dad will be a better example for him, we will both train him better, our family will be more united, because we're all together in one place. Not when Gregory used to come to Nigeria and I used to come, I looked at it from that angle and I'm like, okay, this benefit, this positive is big enough to actually outweigh my fear of how the weather damages Adam's skin and a couple of other things that I was worried about. So you have to make a conscious effort to adjust your mind to focusing on the good things that can happen in your new place, because if you don't, you're going to eventually continue to only see negative, and by the time you eventually move, there will be nothing you are looking forward to. So adjust your mind to be optimistic, look ahead for the positive, think about the positive things that can happen. Start to hype yourself. That's one thing I started to do. Start to hype yourself about the good life, about the more money you're going to get, about the better relationship you have with your children, the better relationship you're going to have with your husband if that's the reason you're moving. Start to think about all of those. And honestly, like I said earlier, at the end of the day, the only thing you're worried about is the fear of the unknown. What if that thing you thought you had in Nigeria is actually a fraction of what is going to happen for you where you're going? How about that? Are you just going to miss that because you're afraid? So start to look at the positive. Neglect all of the negative side. I'm not going to lie to you, they will definitely come. The fear of it, the thought of it will come and it will make you cry, it will overwhelm you. But you need to consciously, intentionally push through with the positive. Look at the better things that can happen where you're going. You haven't even tried where you're going, so you don't even know. The things that you think you have now might even be 1/1,000,000 of the better things that you're going to experience where you're going. So focus on the change and on the positive side of things, and honestly, trust me, because of that outlook alone, things will definitely be better out there. So be positive, be optimistic, and prepare your mind for the best. Continue to tell yourself that the best is going to happen for you where you're going, and that's exactly what is going to happen. So tip number 3, spend as much time with your loved ones and say your goodbyes. Honestly, everybody gets homesick. I'm not going to lie that sometimes I get homesick, but one of the things that really keeps me going is the fact that, at least 6 months into the time we're going to leave Nigeria, I really spend time with family, my own parents, my in-laws, my cousins, my aunties, spend time with them, enjoy the moment, because you're going in a bit and you might be gone for so long, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and they won't see you. At least leave them with something that can bring great memories to them. I made sure that I reached out to every one of them. I had some staff that were leaving at the time for NYSC. I tried to bond with them. I also took out time to bond with my children. Like, we created lasting memories from Nigeria. Adam used to play football and we really, really were consistent with it. Asha swimming, we were consistent with it. These things really, really helped because we were doing it consistently with the hope that, when we're not around, at least these people will remember us. We would also remember these moments. And it really, really helps in days that I feel lonely, I feel kind of alone. Sometimes I just feel removed. But when I remember all of these moments, it really brings back, a smile to my face. Another thing that you want to do in this time is to go to your bank. If you have investment, reach out to your investment banker. If you have a property, reach out to your property manager. Let them know that you're leaving, so that if there's any document that you have to fill for them to be able to execute things in your absence, you fill all of these things. While I was doing my routine, bonding with people, I remembered a couple of things that I hadn't done, that I hadn't put in my plan from my bank, and it really, really helped. I have friends in the UK right now who are regretting that, they didn't sort out a couple of things. Now it's affecting them. They can't utilize their bank card. They can't do some of these things. These things can be avoided. Take out time, spend time with people. Another thing that you want to also consider in this time that you're spending with people is that maybe you've had like issues with some of your friends or families, that you guys are no longer talking and all of that. You're keeping malice. Honestly, this is a time you want to actually reach out to them and try to make amends, make things work. If you're wrong, apologize. Mend relationships, because at the end of the day, how long do we live on this earth that we're going to be having enemies and keeping malice with people who are supposed to be valuable to us in our life? So I made up with some friends who, like, we could mend our differences. I mended differences. It was good for me. It was therapeutic. I felt better, because at the end of the day, you really can't give love that you don't have. So mend your relationships, fix things up, enjoy moments with your parents, enjoy moments with your cousins, your relatives, your colleagues at work, whoever it is. Just enjoy this last moment, so that when you are alone by yourself, you smile. These things come back to you, you smile. Another thing that I was doing at the time, create relationships and memories about Nigeria, was that I was really, really spending time with myself. So there were days that I would go to the cinema alone. Then I took my self-care to another level. I would go to the spa, quality time with myself, trying to know myself more, love myself, because really, you can't give love that you don't have. And if you don't love yourself genuinely, it's difficult to actually extend love to anybody else, be it family, be it friends, or whoever. So I was taking that time out. I was really, going into myself, learning myself, trying to find the things that were triggering me, trying to find how to work with them, trying to find my own personal pattern. Because I'm going to go to a place where there is really nobody to say, let me quickly go and gist with my mom, let me quickly go and gist with this my friend. I understand that social media is there. You can reach out to people via phone, but honestly, you really cannot take away the value of physically seeing people face to face. You can't take it away. So now that you still have the opportunity, take advantage of it. Reach out to your friends, reach out to your family, your loved ones, your colleagues, people that you share amazing, moments with. Talk with them, let them know that you're leaving. Share memories with them. If you have to, if they have children, you visit parks. We were visiting parks. We were going from one place to another, just to let my children have great memories about Nigeria till tomorrow. Adam still remembers all the football moments, all of our park moments, all of the cinema moments that we had before we left. You need to consider doing this. Spend time with your family, say all of your goodbyes, have fun with your family, make amends. If you're fighting with somebody and you know that this can be fixed, fix it, and kind of like uplift yourself. This really, 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 really helps me. So yeah. Tip number 4, plan ahead for your new life. So when I say plan ahead for your new life, you can never underestimate the power of research. And honestly, knowledge is power. Knowledge is everything. So what I was doing at the time was that, researching schools, places around me where I live, where my husband was at the time, jobs in that environment, if you're working, communities around there, African communities, things that you can do. I started checking Google for things to do for fun in so place, things to do with children in so place, because you're going to a place where you don't know anybody. So you have to start to plan how you're going to be living your life. So I literally was researching everything. Before we left Nigeria, I had a long list of restaurants that were close to my house, close to our environment, schools that were around us, the things that we needed for the children to be able to get into school. So do your research. Once you equip yourself with the right knowledge and the right information, transitioning into your new environment will be a lot easier, because then you already have, some knowledge about what is happening where you're going. So things like, where to volunteer. Maybe you can't take up a job job when you get where you're going and you don't just want to sit down at home, you can start to search for, places to volunteer for free work so that you can get some work experience in your new environment. Things as little as where to buy African food. There are so many forums, even Naira Land. You can check Naira Land for things about wherever it is that you're going so that you get enough information, knowledge that would help you, put you in the right frame of mind. When you have this information, you start to feel equipped that, okay, I learned this here. I read that when you go to this place, this happens. You have to make sure that you plan for your life in the new place. Because if you don't and you just leave everything to chance, by the time you get there, for the first 6 to 8 months, you are literally displaced. But when you have the information, places that you can even go with your children. Okay, let's assume that you didn't get into your new place on time for your children to be able to meet up with school. You can find communities, find children's centers around where you're going to be living or where your husband is, if your husband is there already, or where you plan to live, or just find generally, children's centers in so place. Check. So you have this information. So by the time you get there, you start to ring these places up and ask them, I have young ones and they can't get into school yet. Can we pop into the children's center? Do we need to make appointments? All of this information will come in handy. If you're going to in search of a job, start to look for a job that you might be interested in before you leave Nigeria. This really helps. It prepares your mind. You start to work on your CV before you leave. If they allow you to submit CV, you start to submit your CV before you leave. So that by the time you get in, you know that what you're just going to do is to go and do your interviews. I've had friends who even applied from Nigeria and they did phone interviews for them, and by the time they get into where they were going, it was just straight to their new job. So it's important for you to plan for these things, because if you don't, that period where you are displaced is the most dangerous period, where depression can actually set in. You start to feel useless, you start to feel like, I'm just jobless, I'm just idle, there's nothing to do. But when you have all this information, you are equipped, even as little as church, so that once you get in, it's almost like you get in and bam, you just fit into the environment, because you already know the address of the church, you already know how you're going to relate with people there. You go there, introduce yourself to people, hello guys, we're new here, and all of that, just so that your integration into the new system is seamless. Because the truth is, it's difficult to actually break into a new environment if you're not equipped. So I'm even going to create another video where I'm going to be talking about how to integrate in a new environment, how to adjust and all of that. Like I said, make sure that you equip yourself with all this knowledge. I had a book that I was writing what to do in so and so place, what to do in Wolverhampton, what park is nearest to this place, because I knew where our house was at the time. I was using the house postcode to check parks for children, cinemas around the area, how to find cheap this, how to find cheap that, because if you're even on a budget, all of those things are important. Google is your friend. Check all these things. Where you're going, find the name of the place or find a landmark and start to find what to do around the place as an adult. As for children, community centers are all over the place. They can help you with integration. African community, they would help you. But when you don't have all this information, you just move to a new country or move to a new environment, and for the next 6 months before you find your bearing, you're just sitting at home. That is the point where depression comes, because there's nothing, there's no plan. It's like being uprooted from where you have a base, where you have a root, and then they throw you into a place where you have to start figuring out how to even put your leg before you even start finding a base. But when you have all this information, it sort of gives you some level of comfort that helps you to actually, have a better outlook. And this is from personal experience. When I first moved to England like 8 years ago, but that was when I had Adam, honestly, it was so difficult for me to find my feet. It was so difficult for me to integrate. I won't lie, I was in a really, really bad place mentally. But so this second time when we were coming back, I had everything planned out. I had a book where I literally was writing down every single thing that didn't go right for me then. And one of the things I realized happened to me then was the fact that there wasn't a lot of information on my hand. I wasn't that equipped. So this time I knew that I was coming back with 2 kids. I could not come and repeat the same episode. So I made sure that I wrote down everything that I learned, everything that I could do with them. Because honestly, the truth is, for example, if the kids do not get to school when you guys arrive, what would you be doing with them at home? And you know how they are. Once they are bored, they start to frustrate you. And you're already in your own mental place, feeling like, you're not doing enough, feeling like you're wasting time, feeling like you were uprooted from your success back in Nigeria. So I made sure that I equipped myself with the right information. And this time around, everything was a lot easier. When we came, they couldn't get into school because we were like a couple of days late. So we were constantly doing stuff, going to, children's centers, going to different places. We were reading from home. I was working with them with different kind of educational apps and all of that, so that at least, that sort of like took our time. There was no case of them being bored and frustrating me. It's important that you have all of this information so that even when you get to where you're going, you can immediately hit the ground running. And honestly, if you are naturally a very active person like I was back in Nigeria, being able to hit the ground running when you get to where you're going is very, very important for you mentally. It's something that you're going to value, because then when you're busy, so you really are not feeling like you're not doing what you were doing, at least you are doing something, and at least whatever it is you're doing right now is in the progress towards where you really want to be. So it's important for you to plan ahead for your new life. Make sure the information is never too much, especially when you're going to a new place. Make sure that whatever it is that you need to equip yourself with it. Another thing again that you also have to consider in this time is if there is a special kind of cream, food, soap, or whatever that you use from Nigeria for your children, it's important for you to make sure that you plan how you're going to be getting your replenishment when the thing finishes, or you plan how you're going to be shipping it to yourself, or how you're going to be carrying it. So Adam has this cream that we use for his skin that really does well for him back in Nigeria. Before, when I was here initially, I couldn't access the cream here, so what I did was I made sure that I came here this time around with a lot of it, and then I created a pack that would help me to ship it over next time in case we run out of it. And that really helped. That gave me some kind of comfort, because knowing that I have a way to send it here really keeps me at peace. Not when I'm panicking and saying, oh, this is my son's cream, when it finishes, how am I going to do it? Because I can't find the cream here. So make sure that you do all of these things. Plan ahead for your life. I mean, even if anything is going to change, because obviously we're not God, even if anything is going to change, you will be in a place where that change can easily be accommodated. At least you have a plan in place, and whatever comes, the shock that is going to bring to you will not be as enormous as when you didn't have any plan, you didn't plan for yourself, nothing was planned before you left. You understand? So it's important that you actually have this plan in place. Whatever it is you want to go and be doing where you're going, make sure you at least have it planned out. You understand? Even if it's not totally drawn out, make sure you at least have a skeleton of how it's going to look, so that when you get there physically, you can start to build upon it. Last but not the least, ask for help. It is important that you ask for help, because this process is long. I'm not even going to lie. Emotionally, mentally, physically, this entire process of relocation is going to have its toll on you. There's no lying about it. But you see, when you get to the point where you feel like you can't go on, you are stuck, ask for help. At a point when we were sorting out things that we're taking with us and all of that, I started getting tired physically, mentally, and it was beginning to down my emotions. So I reached out to a couple of friends, relatives, say, I need help. Ask for help, so that when you feel tired, you have these people giving you encouragement, you have these people cheering you on, you have them also helping you physically to do the work, whether it is packing, whether it is thinking about, okay, how am I going to do this? Oh, I'm stuck about how to do this. What do you think? Just sitting there giving you ideas, helping you reach out to this, helping you reach out to that, can actually take a lot of load off of you. And trust me, you need that help, so that you are not totally exhausted before you finally leave. Because if you leave exhausted, you are going to go to your new place feeling exhausted and not even interested in doing anything, just wanting to sleep all day because you are tired. And guess what? This tiredness is not just a physical thing. You are going to be tired mentally, emotionally, and physically, and that's like total drain. You don't want to overdrain yourself before you leave, so that when you get to where you're going, you are not wrecked. You understand? Ask for help, friends, colleagues. Another way you can get help is asking people who are already there. If you know anybody who is already where you're going, reach out to them, ask for help. Some of the things that you may be worried about, that maybe you did not find solution to it, ask them. Oh, I'm moving to so place. I know that you're there right now. I have issues about this. I need some clarity about this particular situation. Can you please enlighten me? What can I do about this? Honestly, I know that some people may not want to tell, maybe if it's like job related or something, I don't know. But really, the worst thing that you can hear is a no. Still ask. Some of them, if you don't ask, you may never know. So you ask these questions. Sometimes just one thing that they will say that will open up ideas in your own head too. But because you're not there yet, you really don't know. So when you talk to people who are there, they kind of like light up this light bulb moment for you, where you can now say, oh, this person is there, they are already experiencing it, so they have more experience. Oh, she said this, so because of this thing that she said, I can actually do this, I can actually do that. It really does help. Recently we were talking I can't remember who I was talking to, about how I used to feel during winter, and then she mentioned that, oh, it's because of deficiency of this and this and this. This is what you can do, this is what you can do, this is what I do. And that really helped me. This is something I've dealt with for a whole year, and I didn't get a solution to it. Maybe I didn't research enough, or maybe what I was searching for wasn't what I was supposed to be searching for. But just talking to somebody who has been here longer than me really helped. So reach out for help. If you know anybody who is where you're going, who is already there and established and settled, reach out to them. I'm not saying be on their neck and you to be unreasonable, but ask them sensible questions that can help you prepare. Let them know your concerns, let them know what you're worried about. Sometimes some of the things that we worry about do not really exist where we're going. It's just the things that we've read up on the internet or heard people say. So it's important to talk to people who already established where you're going. That will really help you with adjusting your mindset and setting up yourself for success. So it's important for you to ask for help. If it's physical help, ask. If it's about career, there are some people who are already where you're going and they're already settled there. Ask them. If you don't have anybody to ask, I mentioned Nairaland before, because Nairaland, people have different kind of forums, they talk about different kind of things. Ask. You can even ask about it on your social media, on your Insta story. God might touch somebody's heart to be willing to share with you and, help you get over that fear so that you can be confident in your move. You understand? So this really helps. It's important to ask for help. Nobody is going to give a word for you that you used the stress of relocation to wound yourself. Ask for help. Ask your relatives. Ask your cousins. Is there anybody that knows somebody who has gone, oh, this your friend that has gone to so place, that went to so place 2 years ago. Can you hook me up with this person so that I can ask them a few questions if they don't mind? You understand? If they do that for you, that will definitely go a long way. So, be open to asking for help. You understand? It doesn't make you feel weak. It actually shows that you are willing to actually address your own weakness. It doesn't mean that you're a weak person. It doesn't mean that you don't know what you're doing. It just shows that you are setting up yourself for success where you are going. So guys, that's all the tips I have to share today. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like, share, and if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that whenever I put up a new video, you'll be the first to know. And until next time guys, bye!